Newsrooms in Eugene, Roseburg, and Coos Bay. KVAL News at 11 starts now.
People in Florida are dealing with the devastation of Hurricane Ian, with some coming home to their property in a state of destruction. Thanks for joining us this evening. I'm Brisa Mendez. At least 15 deaths have been reported, and officials say that number could be much higher. Stephen Quinn has the latest updates from Fort Myers, Florida.
Judy Curry can only look at her home in shock.
Complete devastation. Lucky to be alive. Some people still locked in their house, wouldn't come out. They had boats going in the streets.
The damage is catastrophic in Fort Myers, and it gets worse the closer you get to the beach. Boats like this just left in the road, making roadblocks for those people now driving back in, trying to get to their homes and see that damage firsthand. The death toll from Hurricane Ian is uncertain, but public officials in Florida have braced the people here for the worst. In Fort Myers Beach, Hurricane Ian's storm surge was so strong it tossed boats like they were toys.
I actually have a big catamaran, a motorboat in the middle of my pool right now.
This beach community hardly recognizable to the people who live here and called it home.
I'm crushed. I mean, it's sad. I love Fort Myers Beach. I love everything about it, but then it's sad to see some of the longtime places here gone, completely gone. So hopefully everyone can rebuild, and I'm sure they will, and we'll get through it.
Today, sheriff's deputies closing the only bridge to the beach to the public, saying that they needed time and space to be able to begin cleanup and damage assessments. Overhead, Coast Guard crews run rescue operations to nearby Sanibel Island, which is cut off from the mainland.
Right now, emergency responders from Oregon are in Florida to help the response to Hurricane Ian. 13 members of the Fire Marshal Incident Management Team landed in Tallahassee this morning. They'll be helping out in different communities affected by the storm as long as for 2 weeks.
This is what we all signed up for. It's an opportunity to use.
Has been upgraded to a Category 1 storm once again as winds increase to 75 miles per hour. Its next target is South Carolina. That's a live look over Florence, South Carolina right now. KVAL Chief Meteorologist Josh Kozar joins us now with a closer look at where this destructive storm is heading.
Well, Brisa, as it's moved over the Atlantic waters, it's rapidly intensified, and it's actually gained in wind speed, now sustained at about 85 miles per hour, as the center of the storm remains just offshore, but expected to make landfall with South Carolina by the time we press into Friday afternoon. So here's the track. Not only are we expecting to see those damaging winds, but also the threat of flooding rains. And yes, again, the potential for storm surge. And if you're unfamiliar with that, that's the onslaught of the ocean or seawater inland. So that is going to be our biggest concern here within the next 24 to 48 hours. As you can see, heavy rainfall already starting to press its way into the Carolinas, and it'll be tracking its way to the north and east. As for our area, expecting to see those clearer skies as we work our way into Friday and then eventually into the weekend, after we managed to pick up just a couple of 100ths, if not even a 10th of an inch. But we're preparing for near record-breaking heat. We'll be discussing that timeline in just a few minutes, and also the potential for those leaves to change with the rapid intensity of heat. Brisa will have all those details coming up in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Josh, for the updates. Police in Coos Bay are looking for help tracking down a driver who they say hit a man and drove off. This happened yesterday morning just after 6 o'clock. Coos Bay police say a man was walking to work near Johnson and South Broadway when he was hit. He was taken to the hospital with significant injuries. Take a look at your screen right now. Police sent out this photo of what they're calling a vehicle of interest. If you have that information, you're asked to call Coos Bay Police Department. Meanwhile, police in Corvallis are still investigating another hit and run that left an OSU student with serious injuries. This happened Monday night near the OSU campus. Police just released pictures of a vehicle they're looking for. Corvallis police say it's a light green Ford Expedition with a yellow light on the roof and damage on the rear passenger side. The crash happened Monday night at 26 and Harrison Boulevard. At last check, the student was being treated for traumatic injuries. If you have any information, you're asked to contact Corvallis Police. Getting ready to give back to veterans, the Lane County Stand Down is happening tomorrow at the Lane Event Center, offering free resources to any vet that needs them. Angelina Dixon met with one man who has been giving back for years.
I take care of hearing aids and glasses for the
News at 11.
Authorities in Tennessee have released the cause of death of a Memphis teacher who was kidnapped while jogging. According to the medical examiner, the man over Lysel Fletcher's death was homicide. Fletcher died from a gunshot wound to the back of her head and a blunt force injury to her head. Memphis police arrested 38-year-old Cleotha Henderson for her murder. KVAL's coverage of the South Willamette Valley Honor Flight continues. Brandon Cameraman is with the group of veterans in Portland just before they take off for Washington, D.C. Here's his report.
Well, it's sort of the calm before the storm. 60 veterans about to head out to Washington, D.C. on the South Willamette Valley Honor Flight. For a lot of these veterans, for most of them, this is going to be a completely new experience. Some recently finding out that they're part of this trip. Some have been waiting to get on the trip for years. But a lot of them, this is just going to be new, with new emotions and new experiences and new stories to tell.
I am so excited you just can't believe. Ever since they called me, it's been, God, I can't wait.
My brother was a veteran and went 3 years ago before the epidemic, and he told me that I should submit my name, and I thought that I wasn't really worthy of that, but unbeknownst to me, my wife submitted my name. So 3 years later, here I am.
So the flight takes off at 10 a.m. We head directly to Washington, D.C. I'll continue to document these stories as the best I can right here on KVAL TV, on KVAL.com, and throughout social media. For now, in Portland, Brandon Cameraman, let's go back to you.
Thank you, Brandon. Looking forward for those details once you guys arrive in Washington, D.C. A new St. Vincent de Paul thrift store opened up today in West Eugene. Doors open at 10 a.m. for the grand opening, and people were lined up ready to shop. It's located at 888 Garfield Street. Moving on to sports, Hayden Herrera joins us now in the studio. What's new tonight, Hayden?
Brisa, a busy night of soccer with Oregon and Oregon State's teams all in action. Highlights from all three games coming up. In a game that ended just a few minutes ago in Seattle. Drama for the Mariners tonight. That and more next.
Oh, so cute. What's your favorite animal, Josh?
Oddly enough, I think bats.
Ooh, bats. Okay.
Yeah, even though that's kind of a lot of folks.
Interesting.
I feel like they're little dogs with wings.
Oh,
Okay.
that's so cute. What's your favorite animal?
I like a jaguar.
Ooh, mine's a dolphin.
Maybe the car.
Dolphins. Alrighty. Well, that's all the time we have here. Thank you so much for joining us on KVAL News. We'll see you back here tomorrow.